The archaeological dig site, Dent, in Weld County, Colorado, is a center for technological and historical frontiers in Paleo-Indian archaeology. Found in 1932, this site was not only essential to the discovery of coexistence of mammoths and humans, but it utilized some of the newest advancements in radiocarbon dating. The site was active between the years 1973 and 2000, and the advancements made during this time continue to affect Paleo-Indian archaeology and the discovery of the late Pleistocene era. The Clovis people, a Paleo-American culture most prevalent between 127,000 BCE to 9,700 BCE, are widely regarded as the first Native Americans and ancestors of almost 80% of all indigenous people in America. They are most commonly known for their fluted projectile points, recorded first in the Folsom site in Clovis, New Mexico. These first findings provided evidence of a flourishing carnivorous culture with patterns of a nomadic lifestyle. For thousands of years, these humans roamed prehistoric America, and their existence was unmistakable as more than 10,000 Clovis points were discovered, scattered in over 1,500 locations throughout most of North America. But with minimal research, historians struggled to understand the abrupt ending of their lineage in about 9,700 BCE. Theories claim that climate change had forced a movement south, or evolution had taken place and led to branches of other unique cultures said to have lived in America. Because of so little research, the history of the Clovis culture left a large part of Native American history uncovered.
And Dent having basically a whole bunch of mammoths in one place, along with a couple of human stone tools, has always been very interesting because one of the weird things about the late Pleistocene is we don't really know why all these animals went extinct. There's been a number of things that have been proposed. One is, that people hunted them to extinction. Another is that climate changed so rapidly that the animals couldn't keep up, or that the ecosystems changed so rapidly that the animals couldn't keep up and went extinct. There's, ideas about like hyper virulent viruses that only affected, these large mammals. There's a whole lot of different kind of hypotheses.
Despite the thousands of years spent studying science and archaeology, going back as far as Napoleon and the discovery of standardized methods of measuring, developments have been a slow, never-ending process. The 20th century would be monumental to archaeology, beginning with the end of the Industrial Revolution in circa 1918, when breakthroughs in technology were at a high point. Although, it wouldn't be until 1946 that a discovery changed archaeology for future generations. Chemistry was rapidly evolving to a new stage of involvement in technology. Most prominently was the Manhattan Project, more famously known as the atomic bomb, which used a combination of chemistry and technology to create one of the most destructive weapons in history, using the isotopes plutonium-239 and uranium-235. It is credited to Willard F. Libby, a Colorado-born scientist who worked on the Manhattan Project, for bringing the same knowledge of radioactive isotopes to the development of radiocarbon dating. In 1940, Libby discovered the isotope carbon-14, an unstable atom in nature, and confirmed its existence in all living things, as well as a way to measure carbon-14 as the life form decayed. This measurement, or the half-life of the isotope, would be tested in everything from pottery to human remains. Its use remained minimal until 1973, when a group of students from Colorado University of Boulder would finally experiment with it. The problem the researchers continued to face was an inaccuracy in human and animal remains. So much so, the method was disregarded. But in 1987, an advancement was made. If the archaeologists dated the amino acids within the bones, the artifact could be placed within 1,000 years of its exact date. This would have an important place in the archaeological frontier occurring at the Dent site, and continue to be used for decades in almost all archaeological excavations as one of the most reliable tools for historical dating. Although the exact date and discovery of the site are up for debate, the most common agreement is in the spring of 1932. The Dent Railroad Depot ran all across northern Colorado, servicing coal mines, farms, and ranches, but most importantly, it ran directly over the Dent site in Weld County, Colorado. Frank Gardner, a railroad worker with the Dent Railroad Depot, discovered mammoth bones and reported these findings to the depot. The son of the owner and a student at Regis College informed his professor, Father Conrad Bilgery, of this discovery. As a geology professor and archaeologist, Bilgery and a group of his students began to excavate the site as a research project, unaware of the resulting discovery. Although their inexpertise led to years of recovering lost information, the finding was a frontier in knowledge and understanding of Paleo-Indian relationships. After the discovery of 5 adult and 8 young mammoth skeletons, along with 2 Clovis points, the remaining artifacts were marked as unimportant and donated to the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. The remaining physical evidence of this excavation consisted only of photos and a 2-minute film. By 1933, the site was backfilled and left vacant for nearly 50 years. In 1973, a newfound interest brought students from the University of Colorado Boulder to the Dent site in hopes of continuing where the Regis students left off. With the new technology available, the Dent site became a place of testing and research. Although there was little money invested in the project, a few renowned Colorado archaeologists found this as an opportunity to test radiocarbon dating and many other recent technological advancements. Many of the first tests were wildly inconsistent, dating the mammoths anywhere from circa 6000 BCE to 9000 BCE, thousands of years of difference. The study of mammoths brought in Jeffrey L. Saunders from the Illinois State Museum for his previous work on the relationship of prehistoric large mammals and Paleo-Americans. In continuous testing, and with the help of Saunders, the mammoth remains were found to be circa 11,000 BCE, and its accuracy only continued to get closer and closer together. Through the many tests he found, to his and many others' confusion, the dates seemed to show evidence of human interaction. Although the site was previously a test site, its importance became quickly apparent. At first, Saunders disregarded the theory, but the evidence continued to prove otherwise. Not only had all the mammoths been dated within the years the Clovis people had existed, but physical evidence presented itself as well. Saunders and his colleagues had begun speculating that the death of these mammals had not been natural, but rather by the Clovis. This would also prove their disappearance in 9700 BCE had been related to the migratory habits of mammoths. Though previously only speculation, this discovery was a breakthrough in Native American history and proved Saunders' first theory that humans and mammoths had coexisted and been essential to the survival of the Clovis culture. In the aftermath of this discovery, research started all across America. A similar site in New Mexico, the Folsom site, began branching off from the research found during the Dent excavations. The discovery would prove Saunders' theory of coexistence, but the lineage and evolution following the Clovis people are still under discovery. Researchers soon took to tracking their movement across America, from nomadic to sedentary. The beginning of Clovis sedentary habits would be a map of the first indigenous people of America, and the growth of their culture and customs. For radiocarbon dating, the technology would continue to grow and develop, to the point that it has been used in almost every archaeological excavation across the globe. The last 30 years since the closure of the Dent site have shown a growth in genetic information from contemporary indigenous Americans that has transformed our understanding of the first Americans. So much that even though only one human Clovis skeleton has ever been found, archaeologists have discovered that almost every Native American to this day can attribute their history and genes to the skeleton. According to the researcher Eske Willerslev of the University of Copenhagen, roughly estimated, some 80% of all present-day Native American populations on the 2 American continents are direct descendants of the Clovis boys family. The remaining 20% are more closely related with the Clovis family than any other people on Earth. Still, the Clovis people lived almost a millennia ago, and little of their culture has survived. So little that many researchers don't know if people who lived across North America at this time spoke the same language, practiced the same customs, or even thought of themselves as sharing a culture. And this missing link would explain what pre-Columbus America was like before the mammoths became extinct and the Native Americans became sedentary. The frontier of the Clovis culture can be considered one of the most influential discoveries in the past 50 years. Its implications change our original idea of the prehistory of America. The archaeological dig site, Dent, in Weld County, Colorado, would not be the last site to use radiocarbon dating, nor to continue to find evidence for the coexistence theory. But the frontiers founded here continue to affect today's discoveries and knowledge of indigenous history. Despite its struggles, this site was fundamental to all forms of archaeology, and will continue to be in the future.